For the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all. Wayne County Commission meeting, Monday, May 11th. Start off with a public forum. Anybody that wants to speak, please take a chair.
Here I go. Tom Britton, Earl Florence. So I can't get TV or sleep. I should call the Orsted hotline. These people sued me for $35 million. I don't want to have any part of them. All they would do is target me. Again, like Amy Stutzman, Diane Novak, and the 72 plaintiffs that signed on to our lawsuit. Our lawsuit argued that the county illegally invalidated our protest petition, KSA 12757. It was invalidated by Russ Huey, County Consultant. Here's an excerpt from the $35 million lawsuit against us. Defendants Rand Lightson, Tom Britton, Stephen Butts, Brandon Butts, and Michelle Butts are not presently owners of record of any lands located within 1,000 feet of the proposed area to be altered. The zoning department did not count Randy Ison's property on our protest petition. That is how ridiculous this is. During discovery, we hired a professional landman for expert witness who carefully reviewed the legal descriptions and related documents. He found that the actual plaintiff protesting acres touching leases was 61.14%. We only needed 20%. Mr. Huey is still on the zoning staff. He should be the debate coach at the El Dorado Correctional Facility. We gave this evidence to the county councilor a few weeks back asking for an opinion. I understand his reluctance for giving an opinion, but you gotta do the right thing. Enforcing zoning regulation is the job of the zoning department. A guy with the junk south of Hillsborough should have set up a hotline to address his complaints. He might still have a cup. Unfortunately, we have a compromised zoning director. She rented trailer space to the wind farm workers. She benefited financially from their decisions. Her decisions. She knows who buttered.
We're not going to put down any county employee.
Well, I didn't mention her name.
You can say a person.
I said a name. Okay, a person. That's the zoning director. Zoning violations are not being enforced. And I talked to Mike at Carlson's the other day. We both talked to Greg, and Greg brought up about TV reception, and Mike said it didn't bother him. He wanted to he'd like to have a windmill on his property, and well, that goes to show you, Mike cares about Mike. He doesn't others. He didn't care if Tommy has TV reception or not, but if he would put a windmill on the where the Pizza Hut is, I would gladly endorse this filthy project. Thank you for your time.
Any other public comment? Online?
You got one over here. You gotta come over here and take that.
Have a seat.
Okay, well, I'm not sure that
Please
this
state your name and address.
Terry Hills, 2144 Kansas, Hillsborough.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not sure that this is really where I've come to, but I'm not getting answers out of Hillsborough. So I guess I'm wondering if the new or the northwest end of Hillsborough, when the city annexed that in, did the county plat all that, or does the city plat all them properties?
I believe the city did. Right?
Anything, Joe?
That was all platted, wasn't it?
I mean, it was out in the land was out in the county. They bought it and annexed it in. Also, my piece of property was out of the county. It got annexed in along with all this, without us being told, I would assume we should have been notified that that was gonna take place. This has been years ago already, but it's ongoing, getting answers ever since.
Thinking it probably would have been between the two entities in some form. The county would have had to sign off on letting them annex it to begin with, so.
Shouldn't have the property owners been notified? Okay. We never knew about it till after the fact.
Was the deed in your name?
Well, it's in our family's name. So yes, my name wasn't on it, but I'm family of it, and it's basically my property. And it's in my name now. Just because of family situations, they don't no longer here, you know.
Well, at the time, it would have been sent to whoever, the power of attorney or whoever, if there was
Yeah,
notification.
that would have been my parents. They were still here when this all took place, and we never got a notification. We just tried to run out of what we've been doing, which they pretty much kind of done that. So anyway, that was one. So was it the county that did the plating, or was it the city that did the plating?
County wouldn't have done any plating.
Well, we have to get back to
The way that a plat typically works, if the entity, is that okay if I?
Go ahead.
Okay. So if the, for example, if the city had annexed a property and they were developing it, they would present a plat. And it does get signed off on by the county. It's signed off on by different levels at the city and the county, and then it's filed in the Register of Deeds office. So the plat is filed over there.
Yeah, them gals over there and downstairs, the mapping, they did a great job,
Okay.
spent several hours trying to help me get answers and
Great,
stuff. So
great.
y'all here are good.
Great, okay. Okay.
So,
So as far as the process that the city would have used to do the annexation and that development, we probably have to research that with the city.
okay, may have to do that. Not yet. I'm gonna go. They told me it was a county, so now I'm going back and telling the city, you need to give me some answers instead of not just giving me the runaround. Also, the floodplain within the city of Hillsborough, does the county have anything to do with that?
No, we accept the floodplain mapping that they produce to
FEMA
us.
updates those. I don't know how often. Do you know, Tina?
Not offhand.
It's
like,
either 5 or 10 years.
it feels
Yeah,
like I had the 10-year number in my head, but I don't.
It's
at least
About 6 years ago, I got a letter sent because my property was in the floodplain, and at the scout house in Hillsborough, they were having a meeting there.
Right.
So I went to that, and I didn't have much time to stay there, so I kind of got a little information, and I left and stuff. Well, now some of this floodplain area, which is in my property, a little more piece of property I purchased, is kind of in that, and I was trying to find out what I could do, and like putting some dirt in on my property, and I had a little meeting with the city. Well, they told me I have to go through a process, but they, on their city property, out by that pond at the corner of Ash and 56, up around there, they've been hauling dirt in for several years. I asked them, well, do you do that? And they said no, and one of the city employees said it just seems, what did he say? Whatever, that a good idea to do that. And I said, well, I think it's a good idea for me to do that in my property too. So I don't think this maybe really has anything to do with you all.
Yeah.
So then I went out to the Corps to try and find out if they had anything, because all that water eventually gets to French Creek and to the reservoir.
No, we get the maps from FEMA. I know I've had
FEMA takes
I've had to battle that on my own. I had to hire a surveyor and prove that my elevations were higher than what they said they were.
Are you in Hillsborough there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just behind you there. I was gonna come talk to you one of these days, and I will one of these days, because
FEMA has updated those since the 2019 flood. And there were changes and additions.
yeah, and I've got some of that. I had a little trouble went out there and tried to get a little information, and they said, well, it's online. Well, I don't really do that. I did get a little bit so I could see more and stuff, you know. Okay, well, I don't think you guys then, I need to go back and deal with the city some more. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Terry.
I might hang around and.
Sure.
Okay.
It's a public meeting. You're
Okay.
more than welcome to stick around.
Any other public forum?
I'm gonna keep mine short. Says for information, Arlene Sticka. You wanna know where I live?
If you want to disclose it.
No, it's nobody's business. Okay. About a year and a half ago, I raised the issue about homelessness, what I suspected as homelessness. I mean, you probably all thought I was crazy, didn't know what I was talking about. Well, anyway, I have recently found out that there was a homeless encampment out at French Creek Cove, out at the reservoir. Possibly they might have been involved with taking showers out at the county lake, which is fine if that's what you want to let them have and let happen. But I was just kind of concerned why nobody knew about it, especially the newspapers, since they do supposedly report the local news, and yet there was no mention of it in the paper. So I'm not quite sure what all the secrecy is about. But if word got out how our food bank provides food twice a month for people, hey, there's an invitation right there. And you know what you do about it is up to you. But I'll tell you what. I've seen what has happened with the homeless population when I was living out in Wichita, and I don't think it's something that you want to invite here. And if you think the Christian way is to provide for them, that's fine. But it's not the Christian way when you enable them to continue in that lifestyle. And that's all I have to say.
Did you talk to the court?
You know what? I was told about it, and all I'm concerned about is local, because it not only affects them, it also affects this community. And that is county.
Thought it was gonna be short.
It is short.
Anyone else? Anyone online? Okay. We'll close public forum, go on the agenda approval. Any additions or corrections?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, motion been made to approve the agenda.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Dirks. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
4-0. Administrative?
Okay, I have some change orders. Those were sent to you separately this morning. Okay, we have the minutes of April 30th. I did make that correction.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve April 30th minutes is written.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Gehring. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4-0.
Okay, and then I have the minutes of May 4th.
Everyone's had a chance to review those.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve May 4th. I'll second that. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0.
I think
5-0.
Stay
Dave
on
must
the-
be online.
Okay,
I just heard him. So.
you hear him, you tell me, cause I can't hear him.
Oh, speak up.
There you go.
Okay, we have early checks in the amount of $28,748.81.
Any questions on the warrants?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Garing,
I'll second that.
seconded by Commissioner Dirks. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0.
All right, we do have the resolution, repealing resolution number 2615 for adopting the rules of procedures.
What had a chance to do the proclamation?
This one repeals and replaces.
Yes.
Yeah, it repeals and then adopts the rules of procedure.
Okay. 6.
18.
18, you said?
Yes.
Any discussion?
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-18. Repealing and replacing, or repealing and adopting.
Motion by Commissioner Garing, I'll second that. Any other discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
Sign.
That's all I have.
Tina?
Had my report in your packet. Does anyone have questions?
Any update on Bridges Inc.? Have they been out there at all? Or?
On the.
So I have a picture from this morning. So this, I can pass this around. The steel has been added. Was it you, Commissioner Becker, that said fill in the concrete around the tube where they were gonna pull that out? Or was it another commissioner that was out there and said
Yeah,
that?
when I saw it last day, I noticed they had the metal part in. So is that concrete poured?
Well, no, because basically this piece was just supposed to come out.
Oh, okay.
But Road and Bridge said that you had, somebody was out there and made a suggestion just to fill it full of concrete.
Wasn't me.
Okay, was any other commissioner out there that was talking about that? Well, it was somebody, they said it was someone from the county, and Road and Bridge hadn't been out there to say that, as far as I know. So anyway, we are potentially going to do that, put some concrete in there, because it's not gonna hurt anything and it might make it sturdier, so. The steel is in there, they're doing the final weld today, they're gonna, they run that concrete idea by the engineer that is inspecting it, and they thought it was a good idea, so that'll be done as soon as we know the quantities, and,
So that they just gonna pump that out and fill it full of concrete? Okay.
yeah, they'll drive that down another 6 inches or so, and then they'll make sure that the slope is appropriate. We don't want water to pool, so we'd wanna make sure that it's concave. So, as soon as we have that done, then they will come out and inspect it, and we should be able to open it. But they were supposed to be doing the final welding on that today, was my understanding.
Looks like progress.
Yeah. Any other questions about?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. The rest of this can be addressed during the agenda items, so that's really all I have.
Anybody else have any comments on the packet that Tina sent us? If not, we'll move on. Isaac?
All right, I just have a couple things here today. The first thing I'll start with this Easy Dock. So here back in March, we have the public dock that's just directly down from the lake office. About March, we noticed this leg here was starting to sink at the end. We contacted our rep for the Easy Dock system. He said that there's a plug in the bottom of there. He instructed us to take that out and do an inspection of it. So on the east side there, in between the two wheels, what it looks like happened is a boat ran right into it and it put a hole in there. Well, I think over the winter that hole cracked down all the way down to the bottom. So these Easy Docks, when they put them in, they come with a lifetime warranty. So I was hoping that we would just be able to get it replaced, but he said that that warranty does not cover what he would call damage. You know, the dock didn't fail, it was because of the boat that ran into it, it put a hole in it. He said sometimes they can repair those. He came out and looked at it. He said unfortunately it would not be repairable. The total to replace just that section there, so like from the black couplers to the end, would be what would need to be replaced in order to fix that. Total of $3,732 for the float and for that to be freighted out to the lake. And so I was just here to talk to you guys about that, to see if that was something that we could go ahead and get replaced here before this summer.
Got a budget? Looks like it's gonna have to be fixed.
So in the packet, there was the purchase request, and I did address some there, the budget. It wasn't budgeted for this year, but there is sufficient budget to handle that in his capital outlay line item. Yeah.
Any discussion?
Do we have our own insurance that can take care of that?
Deductible would be too high.
Yeah, the deductible would right, exactly, be too high.
Is there anybody else that would give us an opinion whether it can be repaired, even if these guys don't do it?
I don't know. That's a good question. So, like with these guys, they're with the Easy Dock. It's I guess it's kind of a special thing there. If you know somebody that I could contact, but I don't know. We had our swimming area buoy repaired here a couple years ago, But they just, they welded it, plastic welded it. He said, I talked to them and they said that they wouldn't be able to do it in a circumstance like this because they couldn't get to the inside to try to weld it. Yeah. If so, I don't know. He just said that they would probably not be able to repair it, given the way the hole and then the split is.
Probably a little bit proprietary too.
Yeah,
They're
we,
probably fittings, and all that stuff.
we kind of consider this a single source vendor, because there aren't others that are dealing in that exact same, that fits with our stuff.
For that system.
Right.
And I guess it wouldn't be repaired under their circumstances, then it'd probably void the warranty for future. Would be my guess.
I would agree.
Just wanted to know if that was another option, to have somebody else fix it. My thought.
I'll move to accept the, repair or replace, in the amount of $3,732 with Easy Dock.
So good.
Did you second that, Mike? Been moved and seconded to accept the bid there for Doc. Any other discussion? Not all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Okay, and then the second thing I have here, the last week and a half really, we had a group out at the County Lake Camping. It's the KCA, Kansas Camping Association. And they had about 15 campers out this year, and they rented the lake hall for the weekend. When they packed up to leave, the guy that organizes that came into the office and asked if for 2027 they would be able to reserve the entire campground and the lake hall building because they're having a big, it's like a 25th year, I guess, anniversary of their group. I told them that we really don't take reservations. Everything is first come, first serve. And he asked if I would be willing to come in here and see if the county would make an exception for him if they rented out the entire lake hall, or the entire lake hall and the entire campground behind the lake hall from June 10th to June 13th
There
Of
was,
2027.
2027.
we don't really have anything going on right then.
So I don't on the calendar now. I could see it potentially causing some problems. I mean, I'm typically not completely full then either. Like we don't have any events or anything. I would say, on a standard weekend in June, we normally run, I'm going to say maybe 50 to 70%. On the flip side of that, there's been other times where people have asked for us for certain situations to reserve sites. We've always told them no, just because it's the policy. They didn't know if they did the entire campground, if that would be something we would make an exception for. And I told them I would come and talk to you guys about it on behalf of them. Because he said if not, then they were going to go ahead and try to find a different location that they could maybe host this at. But they like that there just because the campground's right next to the building and they use that building while they're up there camping.
You're setting precedents.
I know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are happy, so ticked off over there at the core, and then, so it just makes you look like you're shining over there.
Well, my concern would be that, you're gonna upset some people that are gonna just drive in and
Yeah, right.
they won't come back.
Right. Well, and I kind of told him too, personally, my personal opinion on it would be like if they wanted to do this in like March or in like November or something, I'd be a lot more open to it. With us not taking reservations, it would be hard. So if people came in early, we would have to say, by the 10th, you're going to have to leave or you're going to have to go find somewhere else to go. Because it is in the middle of the summer, which would make it a little more, I guess, difficult to.
We have a few locals that rent them spots out an extra week ahead of Memorial Weekend.
Yeah,
To
well,
have-
and I think.
To have that for Memorial Day weekend, that's what we would infringe on the most, I think.
Right.
If I'm not correct or incorrect. A lot of people, I think there's several that pay an extra 10 days or something, if not more,
Ahead of events.
to have it there for Memorial Day
I'd
weekend.
say the only way to consider it is if they make use the same date for the next 5 years and commit to it. Other than that.
Okay. Well, and that's it. They come,
I wouldn't-
yeah, they've come out every year. It's just that typically, like on their average year, like this year, you know, they'll bring 10 to 12, and they just did it this past week. So before school's out, we hadn't been real busy. I mean, they had the campground to
I'd
them.
say even a week earlier in the
So-
time frame would make a big difference.
June is the part that, I mean, I'm not saying we couldn't do it, because we could definitely do it, but I think there would probably be some,
Put up 10 grand.
yeah.
Bees.
How many campers would they be bringing?
So then that's the thing. So the campground behind the lake hall, there's 32 spots. He said that they would definitely have between probably 25 to 30 campers, but he said whether they fill them up or not, they would pay for every single spot just to have that campground for themselves. Or make sure they had room for everybody
And
there.
it's because of the anniversary, not the.
Yes, and that's what they've never had that many out there. Some years they've had 8. This year was I guess a bigger year. They had like 15, but it was quiet out there when they got here, so it wasn't a problem. They all got a spot. But his concern would be if they were to do it, that some of their people would come up and not have a place to camp. Yeah.
So this is just behind the.
Yeah, behind the lake hall building.
Oh,
Yeah.
Say they were bound to that weekend.
He didn't, and
I'd say they ought to be looking for something in off-season.
Yeah, and I didn't discuss that with him. He just said that was the date that they had discussed, was the 10th through the 13th. And that was it. I told him at that point that we don't take reservations, and he just asked if I could come in. I really didn't have a conversation with him about changing dates or if they'd be open to that. He just said if not, then they wanted to know sooner than later, just so they could try to find another location to hold it at. But
would, but after Labor Day, Memorial Day, make any difference? Like a week or so later?
well, so the 10th through the 13th of June would be after Memorial Weekend there.
You're not prior to Memorial Day. Prior to Memorial and after Labor.
No. It's June, right?
Yeah.
What's the consensus? I'm not for it unless it's off-season.
It opens up a whole nother thing that we.
You set precedents and you might get, there's other camping clubs. Like,
Whatever makes the most sense.
I mean, you take reservations for the lake hall,
Yeah.
and would be glad to do that for them, but as far as the camping, I mean, we can try to steer people out of that, you know, just,
Yeah.
we can, but we can't, I don't see,
that's the area that fills up the fastest, isn't it?
Yeah, depending on the weekend. It's the one that's furthest away from the building or from the lake itself. So, but there's a there's a select group of people that camp out at the lake a lot that normally camp in that location. Yeah, and that would be where I think we would have our issues, is they'd be like, you know, you guys don't take reservations, but you're doing this for them. I could see, you know, some pushback on it, but
Isaac, how many nights are they camping?
it would be a Thursday through a Sunday. So it would be three nights is what they would pay for that campground for. A Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. They'd leave on Sunday.
There's still 90 spots.
32
That's quite a bit of
spots.
money.
It would be,
Well, yeah, I guess.
96 nights total, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of money.
Well, not, yeah.
And
I mean, it appears the consensus is that we don't do that unless it's off-season.
I'd like for Isaac to visit back with him if there was an alternative site before we decide.
Yeah, I think.
It's not pressing,
Alternative
it's not
date.
pressing today, is it? We give them the answer today.
No. He just asked me if I would ask sooner than later, just so if not, like if it was a definite no, that they could try to come up with another plan.
I guess if you would ask a few of your regulars that you know what their consensus might be. Their opinions, what's that they'd be?
I just noticed as soon as you started making exceptions, you might as well not have any rules.
Yeah, just did.
That's where I'm at.
And like you said, set precedent. What's the next bunch? I
Yeah.
think you got your answer there, Isaac.
Okay, so instead of gathering more information, what I hear from this side is that you're just saying no.
Unless it's an off season.
Okay, but then it's still not allowed to take reservations anytime out there, so what are you telling Isaac he needs to do? Are you just saying no, or are you telling him to check on a different weekend?
I'm just gonna say no.
Say we're, as a group,
So, you know,
majority saying no, and
You're right there.
Okay.
17.
that's right. You open up too much.
Yeah.
You can tell them, you know, this is our normal, this is how many spaces we normally have open this time of year.
Well, and if they, honestly, I mean, the way that it was this year at least, even if they moved it back to April, they would be able to all get in there without reservations anyways. I mean, really, we don't start picking up there till after school gets out. It's not busy. I mean, for 30, 40 campers even, we could get them all in pretty easily.
just a weather forecast prior to
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time would make a difference.
But no, that works for me. I can definitely let them know. And that was all I had, unless you guys had anything.
Just tell them that we'd like them to be here.
Yeah.
But we can't just be changing rules and winding up with other Pandora's boxes. We already have enough of those.
Thanks, Isaac.
Hey, thank you.
Planning and zoning, Sharon,
Yeah, she's online.
you online, Sharon?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so the first item I have is the special event permit application from the Flint Hills Bit Rims for the Florence Grand Prix. I'm not sure, I believe there may be some representatives from, sorry, are we getting a bunch of feedback?
I don't
We're
see,
not on our end.
I don't see
Okay.
anybody here.
Okay. All right, so the event that they applied for is expected to take place May 22nd through May 24th, which is Memorial Weekend. And I believe this is the 5th year that they've held this event. We have their application, their safety plan. We have information where they contacted Road and Bridge to discuss road closures and use of signs and barricades and things like that. Part of the special event application process is that I contact all of the emergency agencies within the county and get any information back from them that if they have concerns. Each of those concerns have been addressed and met by the Flint Hills Bent Rims. And this is a type 5 special event. So the Board of Commissioners would be required to either give approval or denial of this application. And also part of that, the Flint Hills Bent Rims are requesting to use a portion of the county road, which is Yarrow, just north of Florence.
That's not any different than years past, right?
No, it's
No, it's the same, basically it's the same safety plan, it's the same package that you typically receive, the same type of, I mean, the land agent agreements are included, their insurance is included. It does name Marion County on their insurance. the maps. The only thing different is they may run the track in a different direction this year.
They're just running backwards.
Yes, they
From what
plan
they
to run
did.
it backwards this year. Mix it up a little bit. So if you have any questions or if you need more clarification, please let me know.
Make a motion to approve the special event application. Flint Hills Bent Rims.
I'll second that. Any other discussion on the permitting? Not, all those in favor? Aye.
Alright,
Aye.
5-0.
Did you say you seconded or did?
Yeah, or I don't, did Mike second it?
Mike seconded too.
Speak
So
up,
who would
Mike.
you?
Okay, Mike seconded it. Okay, go ahead, Sharon.
Okay, and then just the approval for the use of
Yarrow.
the county road.
Make a motion to allow Flint Hills Bent Rims to have the use of one half of Yarrow. Is that how it is?
I believe that's correct. They'll
North of-
block off
North of
just
50th.
that. Yes, that's correct.
They
Just
cross
north
the
of
road.
50th.
So basically, they do have to put up a barrier.
I'll make a motion to allow the use of the roadway north of 50th on Yarrow.
second that.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Gearing, seconded by Commissioner Dirks to allow the use of Yarrow Road for the special event. Any other discussion? Not all in favor? Aye.
Alright,
Aye.
5-0.
let's hope for good weather.
Yeah,
Last
you
year
never
was-
know.
Last year was.
Yeah, it was a little rough.
Not bad.
It's safer if we got better weather.
Okay, Sharon,
Yeah.
move on.
Okay. Okay, the second topic that I have is the Planning Commission's recommendation from, the April 23rd Planning Commission meeting. And just a little bit of background for everyone else. The Board of Commissioners gave a directive to the Planning Commission back in March to explore developing regulations for the use, establishment, operation, expansion of data centers. And there was a moratorium placed on data centers that expires June 1st of 2026. So the Planning Commission recommendation after a couple of work sessions has asked that we table this topic, request that the Board of County Commissioners consider extending the moratorium, and that we focus on updating the comprehensive plan prior to moving forward with the regulations concerning data centers. And also, I believe Josh Weiser is present.
I'm here, Sharon.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for being there, Josh. He's also willing to help answer questions or provide clarification regarding this topic.
So I can give a quick update.
Josh?
So we talked a couple months ago about the data centers. I've been following a lot of counties, Barber County, Sedgwick County, Butler County, and kind of nationwide. There is a huge growing resistance to these. Some of the resistance is legitimate concerns, water supply and power. Some of them are based on outdated knowledge, such as some of the early data centers that have been built, they're allowing evaporative cooling. That uses a lot of water to come in. So it's going to take some time to get nationwide. Kansas is no different. Talking to people in Sedgwick County, watching online, it's going to take time to get that information out there, and really for these data center companies to convince the public that these are not bad, with the right regulations in place. That's one hurdle. Talked to an individual, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago at a meeting here at the Lake Hall. He claimed to be a land broker and indicated that he had been talking with Meta, which is Facebook, potentially about a large data center in northern Marion County. And evidently Evergy told them it would take 5 years to get that infrastructure in place. So power infrastructure for something as large as they would want to be is right now not here in the county. So I don't know that we're gonna have anybody on our doorstep, because the appetite right now is for these large data centers that are, 1,000 acres or more, because they're focused on AI. So my recommendation is we extend that moratorium. We focus on the comprehensive plan. Comprehensive plan today doesn't have anything really in there allowing for industrial development on county land. And that's really what we need to look at. Looking at some of the water notations in the comprehensive plan today, there's concerns about the water being shallow, and we introduce a possibility of contamination, and then listening to the roundtable over at Tabor last week about some of the water concerns in the county. So I think we need to address a comprehensive plan based on where we want the county to go. Things have changed since the last time it's been done. There's, you've had wind development here. You've got the interest, at least, in data centers. So we need to address a comprehensive plan that backs up where we're headed, and I think gives some legal protection to the county too if we're going to allow these. So, any questions?
How much time do you foresee before it no longer becomes an issue that we can say yay or nay? It winds up being a federal, we don't care what you think, it's in our national security.
I think personally, I would guess within a year or two. I mean, President Trump's already said these are a national security race against China, that he wants to beat China to the punch on the AI. So I think it will come to that.
The writing on the wall says it's coming. I just don't know when. And if you can beat it to the punch, maybe you can determine where they go rather than them coming down and saying, nope, you got no say in this.
There's that concern. There's the other concern. They're already talking. I've seen some congressmen in DC proposing that if these guys are going to build their data centers, they got to bring their own power. Well, what does that mean? They're going to bring a nuclear reactor that we have no control over, a mini nuclear reactor, which decide what is that? We don't know what that looks like, but I think it's inevitable. The feds are probably going to set regulations on this at some point in time.
Better that we get it done.
Yeah.
What's the difference when you said, a year or 2 years? What's your precise on that? 1 year or 2 years?
Well, my own personal opinion.
Yeah, that's all we can ask.
Well,
We're headed to midterms right now. Trump's only got 2 more years. If he's going to do it, it's going to be in that time frame.
So in your packet, there is a resolution to, if the board wants to do it, to extend for 1 year. That would be through until June 1st of 2027. And that could potentially give time for the evaluation and adoption of a new comprehensive.
And that's the planning and zoning's recommendation.
At this point, yeah. The one thing I'll add to that is I'm continuing to watch what Sedgwick County is doing. I have a report that the city of Wichita paid for from a Berkeley group that outlines, and I think if you guys don't have it, I'll send it to you, but it outlines all the considerations for data center regulations. And I think it's something we need to continually work on and monitor and adopt. And if in there, before that year is up, we can feel comfortable with regulations, I think we keep it on our agenda in planning and zoning. And
Would the regs have like tiers, so that you would have your AI centers, your regular centers, your edge centers, different buckets in the reg?
That's what I was thinking.
Because they're not all the same. I mean, there's some that they don't use much power, they use AC.
Yep.
Some, when I say much, they don't use any more than any factory we have around here. So,
Yeah, so I've got an outline that we haven't gotten completely through with planning and zoning that starts at location, power, draw, cooling. So there are, in my mind, there's things we can do. We can limit the amount of power they're gonna draw. That limits your size and what you're gonna have. The type of cooling, don't allow any liquid cooling. So these are types of things to walk through, all the way down to what do they look like aesthetically? Do we make regulations that say they have to be a Morton type building so they look like a machine shed out there? You wouldn't know the difference from driving by. So I do have an outline for that for planning and zoning we started going through, but quite frankly,
Where we showed about a 5-tier of the difference in sizes and demands earlier. When we were presented some information here a while back, wasn't there about 5 tiers of size and demands?
yeah,
Of the deal, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
And we'd have to look at every tier of that almost, maybe.
we would want to. You would want to call it out specifically if you don't, right now.
Allow tier 3, but not tier
Yeah.
5 or something.
And you do that, I think you do that by power draw. You definitely don't want to do it by square footage, because I could take this room and as technology advances, I could probably put enough equipment in this room that will draw the same amount of power that the city of Gospel draws.
And we know a year from now, they'll have a better technique of
Yeah.
handling these as well with technology.
Technology is advancing about every 3 years.
Board's consensus.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-19. Resolution extending the temporary moratorium on the acceptance of applications relating to the establishment, operation, or expansion of data centers within the unincorporated areas of Marion County, Kansas.
Second.
You second that, Mike? Any other discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Thanks, Joe.
Comprehensive plan.
Thanks, Josh.
Sharon, you have anything else for us?
There's your resolution to sign.
Okay.
No, I believe that was it.
I have a question for you, Sharon.
Okay.
Still there? This month at the planning and zoning meeting, you're doing a public meeting regarding the last resolution this board passed regarding the ban on wind turbines in several townships in the county. What put that in the purview of planning and zoning versus the commission?
Okay, so the resolution that was signed and directed the ban on wind energy in the 15 townships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on the top of that resolution, it does direct the planning commission to update the unified code, which is the zoning regulations. And by state statute and the county regulations, anytime there are text amendments made to the zoning regulations, it requires a public hearing process.
Okay. I got online actually yesterday and this morning trying to find some stuff. In 2019, actually April of 2019, this board passed a resolution giving certain right-of-way considerations to the wind company. And then subsequent to that, our county attorney indicated that there needed to be some text amendments to planning and zoning regulations to make that resolution valid. So sometime between September of 2019 and whenever, was there ever a public hearing to address those changes? Those changes have been made, by the way, to the planning, and if so, could you get me the minutes from that meeting? There's nothing online prior to 2025.
When did you say that happened?
The resolution was passed on April 29th of 2019,
April 29th? Do you happen to have a resolution number there?
and it's 2019-05.
Dash
And
05.
then in September of 2019, Brad followed up with some recommendations for changes to planning and zoning regulations in section, add a new section 1-106/3 to basically to validate that resolution. And I just wondering if there was ever a public hearing regarding those changes.
Okay, so the 1-106-3, that would be in the definitions section of the zoning
Yep.
regulations.
Yep.
I can check on that. I might need to get a little more information from you. Or I don't see that Brad's there. I don't know if he can answer that question.
He's not here today.
Okay. I'll see if I can gather some more information and get back to you about that.
Okay. I guess my point is, if we're gonna follow state law, we need to follow state law. So I couldn't find where that was ever done because there's nothing online right now, so.
Okay. I know there was like a road crossing portion of the application for that CUP. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about.
That's entirely separate from this.
Okay, all right. I'll do some research and see, and I might have to ask you a few more questions
Just
if I can't find what you're talking
email me
about.
any questions you have.
Okay, will do.
Anything else in that regard? We'll move on to the review of planning and zoning applications for the at-large position.
Does anybody have any
Do we
applications?
have any applications?
Evan Yoder, I asked 2 weeks ago that his application be reconsidered. Sharon said she still had it on file, so.
So we have one application. Any others, or anybody waiting to hear from anyone or anything like that? If not, I guess we can move ahead if someone wants to make a.
I would make a motion to nominate Evan Yoder to the position of at-large Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Dirk, seconded by Commissioner Deering. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Hey,
4-1.
4-1. Thank you, Sharon. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will you then notify Evan of that vote and give him the packet and information so he can get up to speed for this month's meeting?
Yes, I will do that.
I'd appreciate that. I know he's excited to get to work.
Okay,
I will make sure that happens. Thanks.
thank you, Sharon. Is Josh here? Houseman? Josh? Hey.
I'm sorry, that's hard to read.
How much time do we need? 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, I think that,
15?
whatever you guys.
I move we recess an executive session in order to discuss the job performance of specific employees pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. 1, for personnel matters of non-elected personnel with the board, Josh Hausman and Tina, for 15 minutes from 1:30 to 1:45, with open session resumed back in the commission chambers following the closed session.
Second.
Moving second, all those in favor? Aye.
Can somebody call me?
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Out of executive session, no action taken. We're gonna go back in, so I move that we recess an executive session to discuss the job performance of the specific employees pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. 1, for personnel matters of non-elected personnel with the board and Tina for 10 minutes from 1:46 to 1:56. With open session resumed back in the commission chambers following the closed session.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote.
Okay. Yep.
Out of executive session, no action taken. We have another executive session, personnel performance. Is that right?
Yes. Here, it's a different one.
Okay, I move recess in executive session. We're to discuss job performance of a specific employee. Pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, 1, for personnel matters of non-elected personnel with the board and Tina for
10 minutes.
10 minutes until
2:10.
2:10, with open session to resume back in the commission chambers following the closed session.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Okay, out of executive session, no decisions made. County counselor is not with us today, so we'll move on to commission comment. Anybody? Okay, I will make the comment that we need to get the handicap parking back on the agenda for a future meeting. Handicap parking on the south side of the courthouse, which we have discussed several times in the past. Anyone else? If not, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.